Call the experts at Roto-Rooter.
The following is a presentation of ESPN on ABC.
Welcome to ESPN College Football presented by Arby's. And welcome to the AAC on ABC. Only Clemson has more consecutive home wins in college football than the 23 in a row that Cincinnati has here at Nippert Stadium. A capacity crowd expected again today as they take on UCF. It's already been a magical season for these Bearcats, undefeated at this point. A road win against Notre Dame, part of a resume that has placed them in the highest spot they have ever been in the AP Top 25 at number 3. The key, can they keep it rolling? And on November 2nd, what will the playoff selection committee say about where this team of Luke Fickell's belongs? Group of Five's never been in the playoff before, but this is certainly a team that's got a chance. Bob Wischusen here with Dan Orlovsky. Chris Budden will join us in just a moment. Desmond Ritter, he might win the Heisman, right? He is a legitimate candidate. We'll have all game to talk about him. What struck me, though, about our preparation for this one was how this defense struck you in terms of it being championship level.
Yeah, this defense gives Cincinnati the opportunity to beat anybody in America. You talked about Desmond Ritter. He gets a lot of recognition, rightfully so. But this defense is special. They got two guys that are going to be early draft picks in the NFL. Defensive end, MyJ Sanders. Corner, Sauce Gardner. But it's a veteran group. They've got athleticism, speed. They got physicality, violence to the football. Because of this defense, Cincinnati is a college football playoff worthy football team. And talking to them this week, they certainly realize there is no margin for error. They need to remain undefeated. That attempt begins in a moment. The kickoff, UCF and Cincinnati. After these messages and a word from our ABC stations.
Nerds.
This year,
Shop bestpricesc.com.
What a job the two-time AAC Coach of the Year has done here at Cincinnati. Luke Fickell has them ranked 3rd. They have never been this high in the AP poll, and very much a threat to make the college football playoff, a spot that UCF is all too familiar with. Gus Malzahn taking over. They have not ever beaten a top 5 opponent, but they have also, in years past, knocked on the door to be that group of 5 team that could and should at times maybe have made the playoff. Terrific atmosphere here at Nippert. Bearcats won the toss and deferred. And the ball will come out to the 25-yard line for UCF's true freshman quarterback, Mikey Keene.
Coming into his 3rd collegiate start last week on the road in his 2nd. Great game-winning drive, the true freshman from Arizona. A couple things. They got to get the ball out of his hands quickly today against a good defensive line. They have to take some shots downfield, try to run the football, and when they get past that 50-yard line, steal a possession. Be ultra-aggressive with your quarterback.
Against this dangerous defense, he's back there by himself, looking at a 4-man front, empty backfield, 5 wide on 1st down for the Knights. And the quick hitter is tipped at the line. It'll be 2nd down and 10 right out of the blocks. Arquan Bush may have gotten a piece.
But UCF comes out empty backfield, and Cincinnati matches it with no safeties deep. We're going to come after this young freshman, and that's something they talked about. If they're going to play a true freshman because they have to, we got to make him uncomfortable.
Here's Johnny Richardson. He picks up 3. So it'll be 3rd down and 7 on this opening possession for UCF as Deshaun Pace made the stop.
You know, often in 3rd down situations offensively, you're worried about pressure packages from defense. With Cincinnati, they're so great at coverage. their secondary, Kobe Bryant and Sauce Gardner, such great route recognition. Mikey Keene is going to have to be very good with his eyes and his timing on this throw.
Only one deep safety on 3rd down and 7. Play clock down to 5. Cincinnati shows blitz. They'll rush 4. Keene steps up in the pocket. He's going to tuck it under. And he's got nowhere to go. Pace again. It'll be a 3 and out for UCF.
This man coverage on the back end for Cincinnati is something they do so well. Mikey Keene goes through progressions. 2, 3 aren't there. Climb the pocket from the pressure. Pace right there waiting for him. Deshaun Pace, the sophomore from Cincinnati. Top 5 in the conference in tackles. He's their leading tackler on this defense. What perfection in the open field.
Andrew Osteen gets it away, but it's a shank. And it heads to the sideline and takes a Cincinnati bounce and rolls out of bounds inside the 40-yard line at about the 38. That's an 8-yard punt. That's like a turnover. As Desmond Ritter will now start inside the UCF 40.
Watch Wiley off the left edge here. Does he get his right hand on that? The junior tight end, Josh Wiley, looks like he might have just tipped that ball.
Terrific field position, opening drive for Desmond Ritter, and he has put up numbers so far this season that have him on the short list when Dan Orlovsky starts looking at Heisman candidates.
Oh, absolutely.
And he'll throw on 1st down. Here comes the blitz. One-on-one down the sideline for Alec Pierce. And Pierce couldn't locate the ball.
It's not a bad throw from Desmond Ritter. You got him in the slot, so there's all that space to the sideline. It's just an inside slot fade, and Ritter's just bleeding him away from a middle field safety. You'd love to see Pierce adjust, kind of anticipate it the same way Ritter does. There's plenty of air on that throw, and just turn his body back to that pass from Ritter. Just a little bit of in-air miscommunication.
Jerome Ford makes a tackle and picks up 7. Tatum Bethune made the stop. It'll be 3rd down and 3. And how about the injuries that this UCF team has had to withstand this season? They lose Kalia Davis to a knee injury for the rest of the year last week, on top of their quarterback, on top of Isaiah Bowser, who returns today but missed a couple of games. And they have had the best players on their team miss tons of time this year. Ritter quickly out on the edge to Leonard Taylor, and the tight end's got a 1st down. Gang tackled, but pushes the pile down inside the 25 to about the 23, picked up 9.
Just love that play out of Cincinnati's offense. You motion your back in, realize it's man coverage, then you get a little bit of an RPO, and Leonard Taylor, safety from depth, can't close down on 3rd and 3. Ritter realizes it so quickly, kicks it out, easy conversion. That's something for this offense that Ritter does so well. He's got over 1,500 reps, 1,000 snaps throwing the ball in college football. He knows everything that defenses are going to try to do against them. Keys to this offense.
Ford patiently allows the blocks to form up in front of him, and the Alabama transfer close to a 1st down.
I'm talking about Desmond Ritter. First of all, if you're just looking at him as a player, I talked about keys to this offense and the repetition. He knows everything. He can change the line of scrimmage, protection, run plays, whatever he wants. He's mastered it. He really works well in the middle of the field. That's his strength, throwing the football. And then talked about, when I came here, I want to be the greatest quarterback ever in school history. Decided to come back because he had not accomplished that. That is such a finite focus goal-wise.
And they gave Ford just enough for a 1st down. So it's 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Ford again. Inside the 10, down to about the 7. Picked up 5 more. Keenan Hester, who gets the start today in place of Kalia Davis, made the stop. Bryson Armstrong there as well.
How about the patience on this cut by Ford? Watch. Initially got a little seam, now bang. Now see how he gets off that right side when his offensive lineman just collapsed that linebacker? Just that vision, the vision with the patience and the cut. That's why he's really an every down back for this offense. They love these one-on-one fades down here with 12 Pierce.
Instead, they'll run it. Much there. Ford turned back. Seliskar made the stop. No gain. Now it's 3rd down and 5.
This is where Cincinnati's got so many options on offense. Again, your quarterback has such kind of recognition of what defenses like to do down in the red zone. They can put Pierce by himself, go one-on-one, flex your tight end Taylor out. They got matchups with Scott and Young as well. A lot of options to go with the football.
Taylor in motion, the clap by Ritter. Did that get UCF to tip their hand?
You're thinking pressure, right? And you're thinking one-on-one pass catching options. I would not single up Pierce. Looks like they're checking his zone. Now you work to your trip side.
Ritter under pressure, easily sidesteps the pass rusher. At the 5, dives for the goal line. At the very least, he's got a first down. He might be short of the goal line, but it's 1st and goal inside the 1. Bryson Armstrong saved a touchdown.
See, does Ritter get in? It looks like he's down. I would anticipate Cincinnati still going for this. Great job by UCF defensively, forcing this 4th down conversion. You think you could run the football here off the right side of your offensive line.
That run was good enough for a first down, so it's 1st and goal inside the 1. Ford finishes it off with a touchdown plunge. So Wiley gets the slightly tipped punt, gives Cincinnati the short field, and they do what they do best, efficiently move it down on offense to take the lead.
Just enough off that middle to left side, the left side of the offensive line. Cooper, Tunstall, Renfro, great push, and Ford, easy touchdown. It's a great job by the Cincinnati offense taking advantage of that short field. A great scramble by Ritter on 3rd down. And they're up early at home.
Cole Smith tacks on the extra point. The 9th touchdown run this season for Jerome Ford gives Cincinnati the early lead. Cincinnati's number 3. They have an early lead, but our college football Saturday lineup here on ABC and the ESPN app rolls on this afternoon. We've got number 2 and number 4 in action. Iowa hosts Purdue, and finally our Saturday night game presented by Capital One, Oklahoma and TCU in Norman. So 2, 3, and 4 playing back-to-back-to-back today here on ABC.
I think Cincinnati fans are huge Purdue and TCU fans today.
You have to be, right? I mean, and we're going to talk about this as the game goes on.
Oh, we are.
The number of ways that Cincinnati can make the playoff is probably equaled to the number of ways that they could potentially be left out.
Right.
And it'll be a touchback out to the 25-yard line. Chris Budden is with us as well. And keeping that focus, that's a big priority for Luke Fickell, Chris.
Yeah, that's been the challenge for Luke Fickell and this team this week, is he wants them to embrace the number 3 ranking because it's good for the school and it's good for recruiting. But no, they also need to keep their head down and finish business. Every player I talked to this week said it's nice to have the recognition, but they know they have so much to prove. Desmond Ritter told me it's cool to see the way that the city and the school is in on the hype. He said, I walk around campus, but really everyone leaves me alone. They might try and snap a selfie, but for the most part, we know we got a lot of business ahead of us.
Isaiah Bowser returning after a 2-week absence, injured against Louisville 3 weeks ago. In there at tailback, Kane with a check down. And that's to about the 36-yard line to Amari Johnson. And Dan, how hard is it to keep those blinders on if you're a head coach, coaching a group that's not used to having this type of national attention?
Yeah, there's a challenge. It's a veteran group, which helps your football team. You don't want to bury your head in the sand, though, and pretend it's not a reality.
Which is what he said.
Right. They've earned this. I mean, Luke Fickell said we've earned the opportunity to have this positive buzz.
Richardson breaks a tackle. Still has nowhere to go. The pursuit of that Cincinnati defense stretches them out until Sauce Gardner is there to make the stop for no gain. It will be 3rd down and 4.
They've earned the opportunity for this positive buzz, but he kept referencing the phrase human element. There's a human element to that, and I think he just wants his guys to embrace it. They understand what's ahead of them. He doesn't need to pretend that it's not there.
Plenty of time on the play clock for UCF. Amari Johnson in motion on 3rd down and 4. Wide receiver screen to Johnson. They block it up for him, and he's got a 1st down. Well executed by UCF.
I like that out of UCF. 1, gets the ball to your quarterback's hands early, and then 2, gets it to a playmaker, Johnson. You motion him over to the field, just a little bit more space, run away from Myjai Sanders. Big conversion.
Keen on a rollout to the sideline. It's Ryan O'Keefe. And this is as much the run game today for UCF as actually running the football, right? The controlled passing game within 5 to 7 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and as many quick throws as you can get for Mikey Keene. You know, moving the pocket is a big deal. We just saw that on the throw to O'Keefe. You're going to get a lot of man coverage out of Cincinnati. So you can have a pretty good understanding of what you're going to get and how to get the ball out.
The Northwestern transfer, Isaiah Bowser, is spun down at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Brian Cook was there for Cincinnati.
Man, this is big time by Cook. Watch him, number 6. Here, offensive lineman, take that. I mean, he completely blows that play up. There's going to be a little bit of seam for Bowser there, but Cook does an outstanding job, the senior, again from Cincinnati, to blow that play up. Zone coverage here.
Another 3rd down.
I think you're high-low, right? You got zone coverage out of Cincinnati's D. You're trying to cut the field in half, give him a high-low option.
Now they're going to have to call timeout. Play clock wound all the way down. Mikey Keene was still looking over at the sideline with about 5 on the play clock.
UCF. TV timeout.
Arby's, 2 for $6. Every day. Go beef. Icy hot. ESPN, home of the college football playoff. Run it. College football on ABC is presented by Arby's. We have the meats.
Top coaching matchup today in the AAC. 2-time league coach of the year, Luke Fickell on one sideline, coaching the number 3 team in America. Not too bad when you can hire a guy that's got a national championship on his mantle at home. And Gus Malzahn on the other sideline, 3rd down and 5 after the UCF timeout. Team trying to get Cincinnati to tip their hand.
It's got soft coverage in the slot up top. Again, man coverage across the board. Amari Johnson in slot.
Well protected, now flushed out of the pocket. Trying to create, nowhere to go. Lassoed down for a loss of a couple. Curtis Brooks tracked him to the sideline, and it will be a UCF punt.
The leverage of the secondary is just so spectacular. Keene's looking to his right to Amari Johnson. It's not going to be there up top. Bush does a great job covering down, and then the pressure comes. Brooks running. That's when defenses are connected. We always say the phrase, well, the rush and coverage were together. That's the exact example of it. Coverage settles down, the rush gets after, forces the quarterback to move. You get off the field on 3rd down.
Osteen gets this one away, again to the sideline though. And again, not a very good punt. As Montgomery watched it sail out, Cincinnati ball at their own 34.
Thanks for coming. Now, when it comes to a financial plan,
Taco Bell welcomes you to the Live Más Student Section of the Year contest. Use hashtag StudentSectionSauce to get the committee's attention. And go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. Student section here at Nippert started filling up 2 hours before kickoff, and they are a big reason why Cincinnati has 23 consecutive home wins. Clemson, the only longer home active winning streak in college football. First play run on the left side of the 50 is a draw to 4. Dodging tacklers and jitterbugs for about 10. And Desmond Ritter, the consummate leader.
Yeah, such an impressive guy when you talk to him. Something that stood out is the preparation. He talked about having to get better this year. You see him pregame with his coaches, with his quarterbacks, going over the game plan. But Bob, we talked with him, and he was talking about after practice. They get done, everyone gets showered. He takes all the offense in to the meeting room and rewatches practice. He runs the post-practice meeting himself.
Ford's tough to find in all that traffic. Eventually, Tatum Bethune did. He picks up 3, maybe 4. How unusual is that at the college football level?
That's the first time I've heard about it at the college football level. I've certainly been a part of it in the NFL. We would do it. Peyton Manning certainly did it. Matthew Stafford did it. But the fact that he's doing that in college is super impressive. That, you know, post-practice, hey guys, let's take this extra hour to 90 minutes to look at things right away so we can fix anything that we didn't do well. I think it's super impressive leadership.
Keeper for Ritter. Tripped up, but he picks up a first down. Our first opportunity after Cincinnati picks up the first to say hi to Kevin Negandhi.
Good afternoon, Bob. Time now for our celebration moment brought to you by Allstate, the Fayetteville. Gus Malzahn's former team Auburn on the board first. Bo Nix, Booger. How about this to Javarius Johnson?
Bo Nix dropping dimes like Dan Orlovsky dropping quarterbacks' names.
39 yards, 7-3 Auburn over Arkansas.
Offense.
Back to you.
Everyone but the center. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
A false start on the offensive line for Cincinnati will back them up 5, so it'll be 1st and 15 just across the 50.
Did Booger just take a shot at me?
I couldn't hear him over the referee mic, but
he did.
I'm going to just assume he did.
It's
Is that a
noted.
safe assumption?
It's coming over the top, trust me. You know, Cincinnati doing a nice job so far early in this game of realizing the coverage that UCF is playing and using it against them. Some of these zone read designed RPOs together, getting Ritter on the edge.
Jet sweep. Trey Tucker. Flag down. And he only picks up maybe 2 yards.
Holding. Offense. Number 72. 10-yard penalty. Still.
James Tunt stole the left tackle. Watch 72 right here as that ball starts to get outside of his left side. The double team block, the fight by that defensive end, and that wrap around up top. Nice job by Big Cat Bryant from UCF trying to just fight through that block. But when you get it up around that helmet, that wrap, that flag is going to get thrown.
Ritter, tipped ball. Dangerous as it falls in no man's land. It'll be 2nd down and 25, Chris.
Yeah, to Dan's point about becoming a leader and leading these meetings, wide receiver Alec Pierce told me he's seeing the biggest change this year in Desmond's confidence. And it's not the confidence on the field, it's the confidence in knowing that he is the voice of this team. I've covered Ritter a lot over the last 2 years, and he's not normally a very vocal guy on the sidelines. He's learned to embrace that here in his senior year.
He's a consummate leader. Thought about the NFL. And now has risen up to being potentially a first-round draft choice as he looks long to the sideline here. That's on time to Leonard Taylor, the tight end. That makes it 3rd and manageable. 3rd and about 9 as they pick up 16.
That's great timing. Watch the right side of the screen. Eyes left. Corner stays low. Throw that ball in a line away from that driving safety. Look at the route. Get your depth. Now flatten it off a little bit. If you're Leonard Taylor away from that safety. Really good connection. Ritter to Taylor. Man-to-man across the board. You're anticipating finding the matchup you love.
Blitz coming. It's picked up. Thrown slightly low and behind Michael Young, but he makes the adjustment and picks up the first down, a gain of 12 on 3rd and 9.
Yeah, you motion him, right? You get the press off of him. You motion him to realize it's man. Now watch the drift by Ritter. Nice in the pocket, reset, and drive that out. And Young had created such space to win.
Ritter, long in route, caught. Tyler Scott down inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal. He's to the 9.
Watch the progression by Desmond Ritter. Peek left, 1's not there. Reset, 2's not there. 3, find that deep in-breaking route. Beautiful by the senior quarterback.
They're playing up tempo. Swing one out to Tyler Scott, and he lost his footing. Picked up a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and goal at the 7.
You go back to the 3rd down and then that 1st down completion. You know, that's the thing that stands out about Desmond Ritter on the field. It's just his reps. You know, he's tested, he's mature, he's got great understanding of what they want to do. And that's afforded him to play with that nuance of, okay, 1's not there, 2 not there, quick reset to number 3. Happens so fast for him.
Ritter on a keeper. The option to dump it off, which he does to Wiley, but hung Wiley out to dry at about the 5-yard line as he ran out of room and goes out of bounds. So now it will be 3rd down and goal.
Good job by UCF kind of stringing that out. Keep pushing Ritter to the sideline, not really giving him a clear decision. I think on 3rd down here, you're trying to play some sort of zone down. I would not play man because I don't think you match up against Alec Pierce, number 12.
You said fade routes, right, in this spot?
Ones, yep. Bottom of the screen if you want.
And Michael Young to the top, and now flags down.
I think you're going to get Tunstall again.
Offside. Defense. Number 1. Half distance to the goal. Still 3rd down.
Big Cat Bryant, number 1. The transfer from Auburn. Oh, yeah. That's a good reaction, actually, by Tunstall. Even that subtle movement. Crosses over the ball. Good movement by Tunstall.
That changes the entire personnel group for Cincinnati, moving it inside the 3-yard line. They've got 4 tight ends on the field. That's one of them in motion, Wiley. They'll run right behind him. Into the end zone again. Jerome Ford, another touchdown.
Watch the push by Metson O'Quinn, 51 and 50, right in the center of your screen. That double team right there. Ooh, that is pretty. Good job on the edge by those tight ends. Wiley and Taylor blocking, but that happens because of that double team push by that offensive line. It's another good drive by the Cincinnati Bearcat offense.
It's a 10-play touchdown drive. And it's now 14-0 Cincinnati. Ritter on the drive, 5 of 6 for 52, and was perfect on his last 5. This season, by the way, along with their contributions to universities' general scholarship funds, for every field goal and extra point made, Allstate will also be donating to the American Red Cross to help with disaster relief efforts. We thank Allstate.
You see why Cincinnati offensively is so hard to play against. Their offensive line's not great at anything, but they're not bad at anything. They're just consistent, show up every single week, they're dependable. Their quarterback, it never hurts their offense. He's always going to the right place. He's seen everything. He's got a lot of weapons to throw the ball to. Ford is a complete back. This is just a really difficult group to line up every single snap and play against because their quarterback gets them in the right play all the time to play kind of to their success or their optimal level.
Bales with a kick. Johnny Richardson will take it about a yard deep and take a knee. Let's check in again with Kevin.
Bob, number 10, Michigan State undefeated, down 3-0 on the road against Indiana. How about their defense stepping up? It's Cal Halliday. Right place, right time, Bo.
Kev, you got to love it. The only way defenders get their name in the paper, pick 6, score it, Sparty.
7-3, Michigan State. Back to you guys.
Apparently Booger never got his name in the paper then.
Well, was that not a pick six?
Well, he never
was that.
got one.
I'm just saying, but couldn't he have kind of woven in a Dan Orlovsky pick six insult? He didn't.
He knows not to. He knows
That's not true. Booger's way nicer than you give him credit for. So Mikey Keene now down by 2 scores on the road against the number 3 team in America. But he's able to knife a slant to Brandon Johnson on first down to pick up 7. And now they'll say incomplete
on the field. It's an incomplete pass. Second down.
Kobe Bryant was there to hit Johnson and jarred it free.
Just an RPO slant. Watch Bryant inside leverage. Now watch the punch come. Punk. That is awesome. I mean, you can't. That is so special to realize I'm bringing that right hand in. Peanut Tillman from the Chicago Bears punched that ball out for the incompletion.
Keene rolls out to the sideline. That one's held on to by Ryan O'Keefe. So it will be 3rd down and 3.
Nice shot by Keene right there. Again, moving the pocket and driving that ball to O'Keefe. Really on a switch release comeback. Good ball. I think on 3rd and 3 here, again, you're anticipating man coverage. You got to think rubs, meshes, picks. We saw the perimeter screen early on. Something that gets this ball out, because this pass rush and Myjai Sanders are coming.
Deshaun Pace showed a blitz off the edge. They'll rush only 3. Incomplete. Low and away from Amari Johnson. It'll be another Knights punt.
Beautiful job by Cincinnati, just playing that really good man coverage there. Again, leverage positioning is outstanding.
Ryan Montgomery with a fair catch at the 31-yard line. Well, that last touchdown drive, a 10-play drive, and Desmond Ritter used all his weapons.
Orchestrating it. You get a high-low, right side of your screen. That corner sits, you drive that ball to the sideline. Absolutely beautiful. 3rd down, man coverage drift. Now throw that strike to the out route against separation. How about getting through progressions? 1, 2, 3, there it is. And then that leads to a handoff to Ford. Finish it off with the double team up front. Just a consistent high level of execution by everybody on this offense, and certainly led by their senior quarterback, Desmond Ritter. Very impressive in this first quarter.
Play action, incomplete. Out in front of Blue Smith. Flag thrown from the secondary late.
They're going to say that Thornton's yanking on him? Pulling the shoulder pads?
Pass interference. Defense. Number 14. Spot foul. Automatic. First down.
So Corey Thornton is called for pass interference.
I think they're going to say that he's pulling on the shoulder pads. Here's the matchup. It's just going to be a press, lean inside leverage, in route.
Wow.
All right. So is there a very minimal tug on the route break point? Absolutely. That is not pass interference.
Jerome Ford into the secondary. Easily picks up another first down for Cincinnati. He's got 15 more. Landon Woodson made the stop.
Ford's a good player. Conference player of the week. He's probably the most complete back they've had here since Luke Fickell has been here. Physical, powerful, explosive, can hit the big plays. Important part of this offense.
Well, a very complete first quarter played by Cincinnati. They've got the 14-0 lead. Complementary football is something Luke Fickell talks about over and over and over again. They get it done on defense. They had a tipped ball on special teams that set up the short field for their offense as well.
One day, Lanika came through the drive-thru.
Spartanburg Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is the best in the upstate.
Here are a few upcoming AAC events on ESPN Plus. Every Thursday, get an all-access pass for an unprecedented look inside the Knights football team. Our Time offers never-before-seen video and sounds from players and coaches. Tomorrow afternoon, the Bearcats women's soccer team hosts number 20 SMU. And next Saturday night, Temple takes on USF in football. You can get it today at espnplus.com/AAC. Start of the second quarter and a first down for Desmond Ritter. Well protected. He's going to take a shot down the sideline. Jump ball incomplete. Intended for Tyler Scott. And that was Brandon Adams, the true freshman. Man-to-man coverage there to break it up.
Taking their deep shot to the field. Good job holding the safety, and he drives it. You just want him to throw it out there a little bit more. Now, it's a little bit of a hold-up ball. Scott's got the chance to go make that play. It's great coverage by Adams, the true freshman, former quarterback in high school. Did a good job finding that ball.
Ritter sneaks up under center, pitches one to Ford, and he picks up about 4. So it will be third down coming here for Cincinnati behind an offensive line that seems like about as cohesive a group as we've seen this year.
Yeah, and they're interesting players, right? 72, the left tackle, Tunstall, UConn, then Stony Brook. Finally comes over, and their offensive coaches, Mike Denbrock, their coordinator's talking about, we really had to wait till he fit in with us, and then we fit in with him, and then their right guard, Lawrence Metz, used to play tackle. They moved him inside to guard because they thought he was a little jumpy. He's on that island by himself. He has become such a better player at right guard.
Ritter has to throw it away. Pressured by Seliskar. And now it's 4th down and 6 inside the 40-yard line. And with a 14-point lead, it looks like the punt group is going to come out.
Yeah, this happens because the left tackle, we just talked about him, Tunstall. Watch, he goes to cut block. It doesn't happen. Seliskar does a great job. So that play really is an example of the left tackle's thinking, ball's going to get out of the quarterback's hands. That's why he's going to cut. It doesn't, and then that rusher basically has a free lane. And I think that's what they're talking about with Ritter right now. Hey, you got to understand, your left tackle's cutting, bud. He's expecting for you to get that ball to your hands.
Mason Fletcher trying to touch punt one inside the 10-yard line. How good is that? Down inside the 2. A true freshman punter from Melbourne, Australia, does it to perfection.
When you're driving a Lincoln,
National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper is here at Nippert Stadium, and if Cincinnati has a chance to play for that hardware, it'll probably be because of this defense.
I think their defense gives them the opportunity to beat anyone in America. Super talented, 8 seniors, 3 juniors. They don't give you much to work with. They play with awesome discipline and responsibilities.
And they've got Mikey Keene lined up to take a shotgun snap 5 yards deep in the end zone with the play clock winding down, looking over to the sideline for the ultimate call. He'll hand one to Bowser here, and Bowser got stopped at the goal line. Extra effort gets him back to the line of scrimmage. Darian Beavers hit him first.
Watch Beavers just really blow up the middle of that offensive line, forces Bowser to just try to get back to the line of scrimmage. This is such a difficult place to be as a quarterback. Backed up in your own end zone. Hopefully they block somebody so you don't have to run out from the back of it. But on the road, loud environment.
Roll out for Keene. Gets some breathing room and a little bit more for Ryan O'Keefe. Out to the 10-yard line, a pickup of 8, so it'll be 3rd down and 2. Joel DeBlanco made the tackle.
Good job moving the pocket again for Keene if you're UCF. A couple of 30 shorts today that they haven't executed on. They're going to get this 3-man front out of Cincinnati. If you can spread them out, see if you could pop a run.
So far, they've got 6 total carries for 3 total yards on the ground. So the run game hasn't provided Keene with any help. He'll roll out here. A throwback screen that's read beautifully. Johnny Richardson planted inside the 5-yard line by Brian Cook.
Good. Just an awesome job by Cook. They threw a lot at that defense this play. Motion, multiple motions, left side of your screens. Watch 6. Stay home. Stay home. Trust your keys. Trust your responsibility. Bang! If he's not there, that play's a touchdown. But he does his one job. Beautiful.
Better kick by Osteen. Drives Montgomery back to his side of the 50. Flag down. It is returnable. Montgomery inside the 40, all the way down to the 35-yard line of UCF, but we'll have to check the penalty marker after a 51-yard punt and a 20-yard return.
Throwing the kick. Holding. Receiving team. Number 5. Foul be forced from the end of the kick. First down.
That's a big flip of field position for UCF, kicking from their end zone.
The gunner right there just fighting. Peek back, Shepard. You thought holding there? I thought that was just a handling.
I don't think it's 10 yards for handling. Last time I checked the rule book. But that's a 61-yard net field position change for UCF with the penalty and the punt. As the best they could have hoped for, kicking from their end zone, is to have Cincinnati starting on their side of the 50, and the line of scrimmage is their 35-yard line. So that gives your defense a chance after they got a stop on the last Cincinnati possession to go back out there and keep this a game.
Yeah, just try to continue to make Cincinnati earn it play after play, not give any explosives up.
Chuck McClelland picked up a yard. Just great to see Chuck McClelland on the field. Tore his left ACL in 2019 in training camp. Yeah. Tore his right ACL in week 4 last season.
These coaches talk about McClelland and how much he represents the culture of the program. You know, the fact that he'll go out and play gunner on special teams and whatever you need, coach, however it gets me on the field. And that's kind of the representation, again, of the culture.
Ritter off his back foot. That's broken up. He was looking for Leonard Taylor. So now it will be 3rd down and long. Brandon Adams again, the true freshman there in coverage. 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, UCF defensively settling in a little bit. Got off the field last time on a short field, and now they've created this 3rd and long. I think they got to try to find a way to get number 1, Big Cat Bryant, in a one-on-one pass rush situation. See if he can beat one of these tackles from Cincinnati.
He's lined up at left defensive end. And he gets in the backfield. Ritter, high throw, dropped. Boy, right in the hands of Michael Young, as Ritter could not have been more accurate. That's a dodge bullet for UCF, and they'll get the ball back.
It's a beautiful throw by Desmond Ritter on the big in route. He's going to get some pressure off his feet. Watch the left side, Bryant. Great push on the right tackle, O'Quinn, and just cover 2, soft spot of that defense. It's a great throw by Ritter, and Young just drops it. At the end of the day, it is a get off the field by this UCF defense for the 2nd possession in a row.
Line drive kick. And this will take a Cincinnati bounce and roll all the way inside the 20-yard line as Mason Fletcher punts it down to about the 17, 47-yard punt.
What truly matters?
Chicken sandwich.
We're back with a look at this week's college football playoff rankings, brought to you by PlayStation. 5 top 10 teams of the Big Ten. 3 of them are off: Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan. Iowa, Purdue comes up next. Alabama on the road Later on tonight on ESPN, and Michigan State in a tight one right now with Indiana. Again, our college football Saturday lineup here on ABC and ESPN. The app as well rolls on this afternoon and this evening. Number 2, Iowa and Purdue. Finally, our Saturday night game presented by Capital One. Number 4, Oklahoma will take on TCU in Norman. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Chris Budden watching number 3 on the strength of their defense. They have limited UCF to 28 total yards to this point, and it just gets worse for the Knights. Ryan O'Keefe loses about 3. So that will knock UCF down to 25 yards of offense. And we have played about 20 minutes.
Just watch the left side of your screen in Bush. Look at the speed that he plays with, over the top of everything. Cook is going to play outside to force the ball back inside. I mean, we use the word leverage so often in football, and they play with great leverage.
Mikey Keene hands one off to Richardson. He stumbles and falls.
Like I was saying, great leverage. Big tackle by him right there.
The turf monster.
This defense is so good. You know, they great responsibility. Veteran group, their front 7 is fantastic at getting off blocks and tackling and avoiding blocks, and they can play third down, and they can get in your face. And look at the line of scrimmage right now. You're going to get across the board people putting hands on these receivers. Bottom of your screen, Sauce Gardner.
Draw play. Richardson piled up near the line of scrimmage, and it will be a quick 3 and out for UCF. Curtis Brooks was in on the tackle for Cincinnati. Now, you said, and everyone agrees, that the gold standard for defense right now in college football is Georgia.
Yes.
But watching Kentucky, a couple of weeks ago we had their game against Florida. That was a defense that impressed you. In the conversation for second best behind Georgia, this Cincinnati group?
There's no question about it. And there's similarities. Again, great discipline, play with the proper leverage. They put population to the football, outstanding effort. They can play man coverage. I think their secondary here at Cincinnati is better than Kentucky's, and I think Cincinnati's defensive line is a better complementary piece.
Well, it will be Desmond Ritter and the offense back on the field when we come back.
This is
Lorette premieres Tuesday on ABC.
Let's watch one of America's best defenses go to work early in this game. Run game, squeeze everything inside. Fall in pace, pressure on the outside by Sanders. Pace hang there, now go attack in the middle of the field, the open field, a great tackle. Stay, Cook, hang, man coverage, screen, break on the ball. Beavers push the middle of that offensive line backed up. Just everything is done at such a high level of execution and responsibilities.
Counter handoff. And only a couple of yards up the middle on first down for Jerome Ford. It'll be 2nd down and 8. It's just unusual to have a quarterback like Desmond Ritter, who's going to get all the attention. He's a Heisman candidate. He's in the latest rankings by Mel Kiper, number 5 in terms of his quarterback NFL prospects. And just to have this defense be this balanced as well, I think people are learning. As Ford goes up the middle, hurdles a man. He's got a first down across the 50. Still on his feet, dragging tacklers all the way down to the UCF 42-yard line. Just another weapon for the Bearcats. A great run of 30 by Jerome Ford.
Watch the right side of the offensive line climb. There's Metzen O'Quinn again. Renfro up to linebacker Ford. Just great contact balance on those runs. But that was because of the interior of that offensive line. Now you're going to see Cincinnati, these 2 tight end sets, getting something in their run game committed.
Blitz off the edge. Wide open in the left flat is Ford. Gets a block. Close to the red zone before he goes down. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 19 for Cincinnati. 23 more yards, this time through the air for Ford.
Yeah, short completions go a long way to the right guys. Blitzer comes, you replace him with that quick, easy throw, blocking on the perimeter, and Ford down the sideline.
Ritter looking deep, end zone for Pierce, back left corner. He's got it. Cincinnati touchdown, Alec Pierce.
a great job by Pierce. Track the ball, just get a little chicken wing of separation. Go use that big 6'3" frame. Talked about it early in the game, right? Does he secure it? I think he got it. It was a little bit bobbled, but I think he got it.
It's already been confirmed by replay. Didn't take long, and it's 21-0 Cincinnati.
Talked about it early in the game. Down in the red zone, they love these fades because of his size. He's got leverage, push up, separate, little separation, push off, chicken wing, secure it. Back pile on 21-0 Bearcats.
Ever notice how stiff clothes can feel rough?
That's the planning effect from Fidelity.
Three-touchdown lead for Cincinnati. Bob Wischusen here with Dan Orlovsky and Chris Button. And it has been in all three phases that Cincinnati has dominated. They have held UCF to 27 yards of total offense. 6 offensive plays for UCF have gone for 0 or negative yards. And then the efficiency of the run game combined with Desmond Ritter, even a tipped ball and a punt in the first quarter that helped field position for Cincinnati. They've played the complementary football that Luke Fickell talked about.
I think they're a fantastic football team. Their ranking is what it is for a reason. And UCF is coming up here with their hands tied behind their back a little bit, missing some of their key players. And they've been so decimated by injury so far this season. This is what the number 3 team in America should do.
And it looks like a fair catch will be called for by Richardson inside the 5. How about the schematic advantage on the touchdown?
It's about creating matchups, right? I put Pierce in the slot. Now, initially, he's going to be covered by a corner. Adams, great. Now, I motion him over. The defense rock and rolls, meaning Adams is going to go back, play safety, and then the safety, Bullard, is going to come down and play man-to-man coverage on Pierce. Advantage me as an offense. Again, my best receiver then runs a one-on-one fade route, and he just makes a contested catch. But it happens because you motioned him over there and got the matchup, the one-on-one matchup that you were looking for, and he can go use his ball skills and his frame to get that touchdown catch. Really good job by Cincinnati's offensive coordinator, Mike Denbrock, creating that.
You could see Pierce bouncing at the line of scrimmage. I think he knew that he had the matchup to his advantage as well. Ryan O'Keefe turns upfield. He's got 6 yards on first down.
You know what's nice when you watch Cincinnati's defense? Again, there's a lot of talent, but their defensive line runs to the football on the perimeter. And you saw it there, Phillips. That screen goes out there, there's a missed tackle. Again, population to the football shows up.
Richardson can't pop free. Joel DeBlanco found him in the wash and brought him down after a gain of a yard. So again, it's third down, 3rd and only 3. But UCF, boy, they need to move the chains.
DeBlanco, find the football, and that's the best way to describe him. Right in the middle of your screen, 41. Find the football, stay over the top, fight off the block. A guy that has exceeded expectations. Mike Tressler, their defensive coordinator, comes over from Michigan State, and he just says, this guy's proven it. Red-shirted special teams player, now he's one of our best players.
Knights are 1 for 6 on 3rd down. Try and run for it here, and they're going to be 1 for 7. Their longest play from scrimmage is only 8 yards. That time Johnny Richardson went backwards, and it will be another 3 and out.
Gap integrity. Where do you want him to run the football? Look at everyone play laterally, down the line, push, push, push. You see it there. Beavers is there, Cook is there, Gardner's there. That's when I constantly talk about play with the proper leverage. Those guys are not allowing the football to go anywhere, and that's why they don't give up big plays. Outstanding leverage and great effort minimize big plays.
Another punt that floats to the sideline and takes a good UCF roll down to the 21. Well, it's one thing to have a quarterback that might be in the Heisman conversation, but when you can complement it with Jerome Ford in a running game, boy, does that help your offense.
Yeah, great vision. You know, again, setting the draw, bouncing, making tackler, certainly that first tackler miss. This is a beautiful run. Follow the double team, contact balance, talked about it. You can't rip it out, I'm too strong. A guy that finds the end zone, he's got a nose for it. Just a really good player. Patience, explosiveness, toughness, physicality, the ability with speed to run away from people. Last week was a huge week. Talked about it being the player of the week in the conference. probably has a leg up on that award as well so far.
And Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator, said, "This is as complete a back as I've been around." And here he goes again. Busts free. Jerome Ford down the sideline. Foot race. House call. Touchdown. 79 yards.
Great run by Ford. Just an awesome run behind those two tight ends. How about us kind of giving them love? And then, is that a reverse jinx?
That was good TV by you.
Yeah.
Very well executed.
Tony Romo, who?
If your running back is averaging 12.3 yards per carry, is that good?
It means they're running against Booger McFarland.
Oh, just unnecessary venom as Jerome Ford does it again.
Now watch the tight end come in motion, Wiley, okay? And then this is going to be a power play. They're going to pull the backside guard. Those two blocks are key. Vision by Ford. Wiley's going to go inside on the double team. Now here comes Metz, bang, right there. And he bounces inside to outside, run away from the secondary. Again, it takes everybody, right? Great patience. Now hit it. You follow that guard, just get on your guy. And the impressive thing for a guy that's 5'11", 225 pounds, is big fella's got some juice to run away from the defense of UCF. Just a well-blocked offensive play, and then a beautiful job by your back of finding the hole. Bye-bye.
Already Jerome Ford's 5th career 100-yard game, the 4th he's had this season. Backs up 149 yards and 2 touchdowns last week in the win over Temple, with 160 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first half this week against UCF. What a performance already by Cincinnati. Let's go back to Kevin.
Bob, State Farm halftime report just minutes away. Booger McFarland, Kevin Nagani, some early surprises. How about Florida struggling, Oklahoma State struggling, and Michigan State so far struggling?
Yeah, some of the early starts, teams are being a little sleepy, Kev.
College football history in the MAC, we will have a highlight. By the way, Dan, Boog's made a ton of excuses on you beating him this week in Peloton.
We're going to call that beating him in Peloton? I thought it was actually, you know what? I'm Cincinnati and he was UCF on the Peloton. And it was a one-sided affair. Booger for many years talked about how he was the king of Peloton, and it was an embarrassment Thursday morning when I did to him.
I'm not going to say anything else to you.
It was an embarrassment. 5 o'clock in the morning beatdown.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about. The mesh point just about blown up in the backfield as Isaiah Bowser took the handoff, but he had to beat Myjai Sanders to the football and did by a fraction. Looks like Darian Beavers is down and hurt after the play.
Watch Sanders get off the ball here. Stand up. You want to talk about triggering the snap. Oh, he jumped it. Beautiful job. Almost beats the blocker. Hescock to the point of attack. And Bob, you mentioned it, the almost blow up of that mesh.
Myjai Sanders was about a half second away from taking the handoff himself, as again they are looking at Darian Beavers. Again, you can kick off your Week 6 NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern. The Countdown crew on ESPN and the app will get you ready. Sam Ponder sat down with Cliff Kingsbury, who has the undefeated Cardinals flying high, but there's news there, obviously. Our Week 6 Monday Night Football matchup as well, as the AFC East leading Bills in Tennessee to take on the AFC South leading Titans at 9 Eastern. Our coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6 Eastern.
This guy's not bad. Josh Allen, coming off of last year's MVP campaign. Week 1 was a little bit of a struggle against the Steelers, and now he is back in the mix for MVP, just playing awesome football. I think I saw his general manager here pregame, Brandon Beam, put together a big-time roster.
They might be looking to draft some Bearcat defensive players as Bowser goes down a loss of 3. Another tackle by Deshaun Pace.
I think one of those guys that they might want to draft, someone's going to relatively early, is 21, Myjai Sanders. We saw him on that first down play. I went down on the field pregame, and I was watching him do the warm-up drills. His explosion off the ball is just pure power. It is impressive to watch him as a 6'5", 260-pound guy. Just a big-time athlete.
UCF.
And now UCF will spend their second timeout.
It was funny, we were talking to Mike Tressel, the defensive coordinator, about Sanders. I said, okay, tell me something about him, and you can't say he's athletic or he plays with great effort, right? And he was telling a story that he's got incredible football instincts and that they would be in practice, and MyJ would be calling stuff out. Oh, that guy's going to be a puller. And Tressel would sit back and go, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. And then they would watch that practice tape, and there's no tell. There's no indication that that offensive lineman was actually going to pull. And he would sit there, MyJ, how do you know this? And it was kind of the, the example that he really, really understands the game at a high level.
On the watch list this year for the Bednarik and Nagurski Awards. He was a semi-finalist for the Bednarik Award last season, first team All-League. He had 2 sacks in the AAC title game and had a huge season, 10.5 tackles for loss, 7 sacks. This year, all he's done is build on that.
6'5", 260, 4'5" in the 40, 36-inch vertical.
I would say that's something that's going to draw a general manager's attention. After the timeout, 3rd and long for Mikey Keene. Over the middle into traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Pace. So now the defense, rather than getting a 3 and out, takes it away. A short field again for the Cincinnati offense.
Well, you're going to play zone coverage on 3rd and long. Now it starts with the rush. We were just talking about MyJ Sanders. Right side of your screen. Now watch the rush. And then this is Pace right in the middle of the field. He's playing a Tampa 2 middle linebacker, already with depth. That rush forces the ball to come out, and he's just got vision on the quarterback. Waiting there and hanging. Watch the pressure from 21. Slide, quarterback slide, swipe at the ball. Got to get it out. And then Pace waiting right there in that zone defense. Again, we constantly talked about this complementary aspect of their defense.
Long throw to the sideline to Leonard Taylor. 15 more and a first down into the red zone.
This is beautiful. Watch how he sits. Ritter sits. Come on, corner. Come on, corner. Okay, you jumped up on that spot. Let me put it over your head. To Taylor. Saw it earlier in the game. He's got a great feel for the depth of defenders and getting that ball up over their heads.
Ford looking for touchdown number 4 here in the first half. And it's goal to go again for Cincinnati. He's down at the 6. UCF trying to substitute. Up tempo is Cincinnati. Here's Ford with flags down. I think Cincinnati was able to trap 12 on the field for UCF.
You're right. They got 12.
Illegal substitution. Defense. 12 men on the field during the play. Half distance to the goal. Still first down.
If you leave your 11 on the field and you don't substitute, you can go as fast as you want.
Correct.
And the officials are under no obligation to stop the game so the defense can substitute. And that's exactly what Cincinnati did. They left their same 11 on the field and went quick. And the Knights tried to substitute and got caught. So now it's 1st and goal again at the 3. Ford brought down at the line of scrimmage by Big Cat Bryant. May have lost a half yard. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
It's good to see Big Cat Bryant playing well. You know, he's been so close to transfer from Auburn, gets here in May, becomes a captain of this defense. He's been so close to start this season to making some plays, and he's had some moments today where he has shown up. Flop your tight ends. Man coverage at the bottom of the screen. Here comes the motion.
Ford bounces it right, cruises into the end zone. Touchdown number 4 here in the first half alone.
This division again has been so impressive by Ford. This is not played poorly by UCF. Hop, hop, and then no one left on that right edge. They flip those tight ends from the right side to the left side. It closes down the defense, and he just does a really good job. Hole, and then bounce. turns quickly. You know, this was a 14-0 ball game with 9 minutes to go in the second quarter, and now Cincinnati has just pounced.
35-0, and we're back in 10 seconds. Now a look from Ram Trucks.
Ram Trucks, built to serve.
"16 carries, 178 yards, and 4 touchdowns for Jerome Ford."
The big boys up front have done a nice job, specifically down on the goal line with some of their double teams. We've seen the pull game, power, great vision, impressive speed to run away from people. And then again, down in the red zone, the vision. Hop once, hop twice, square your shoulders, and find the soft side of that defense. Just a very impressive complete back right now. Can't give him enough praise. I've talked about how tough of a player he is, how physical, how explosive he is. I did not know he had such great vision. You know, I always say great backs, really good backs, run with their eyes. And I think we're seeing that from Jerome Ford today.
And Ford's the biggest reason why, but Cincinnati right now is averaging 9.1 yards per play. UCF 1.2 yards per play. Hence the scoreboard. And the journey of Jerome Ford to end up here in Cincinnati. Began his career with Alabama, but transferred to Cincinnati. Had an 8-touchdown season last year, and this year he is well past those numbers already.
And again, I think he's a really important part of this football team. Desmond Ritter gets a lot of attention. He has earned that attention. But if this team is going to get into the college football playoff, and I have hopefully made myself clear, they should be, and then they're going to have to go play against teams that we know they're going to have to, having a guy that you can hand the ball to and kind of be multi-dimensional on offense and lean onto your run game, he should be in the Heisman conversation as well as Desmond Ritter.
Keene taking a shot down the sideline, hoping, and that ball caroms around and ends up out of bounds, incomplete. Ryan O'Keefe, the intended receiver. And there was Ahmad Sauce Gardner in coverage.
Did they try him? He doesn't get a lot of action. Watch Sauce Gardner inside. Play inside. Is that Kobe Bryant? That's a great job by Kobe Bryant. Watch the hand fight, go find the football. You know, again, down on the field, Kobe Bryant was a guy, I was watching the DBs work, he was a guy that stood out to me, just his ball skills, you know, the discipline with his eyes and his hand placement, then the ball skills. I think he's going to be an NFL draft pick as well.
And around, Ryan O'Keefe has a first down and more. There goes O'Keefe, the first big play offensively of the day for UCF. And there's Gardner to track him down and save a touchdown. 52 yards.
Hit the ball into your playmaker's hands. O'Keefe goes into motion. Here comes the reverse. And just wants to burst right there. A cut to make some people miss. Beautiful effort by Sauce Gardner to track him down. But finally a big explosive play for this offense, strictly because of the speed from Ryan O'Keefe.
Play action. Keene steps up in the pocket. Rifles one to the sideline, incomplete. Looking for Alec Holler, the tight end.
And these are valuable reps for a guy like Mikey Keene. Again, third start. Did not expect to play this year with Dylan Gabriel, the starting quarterback, and then he gets hurt. The more reps that you can get in situational football in a 2-minute drill on the road, top 5 team in America, great defense, these are things that are going to pay dividends for him in his future.
Won a state championship with Chandler High School in Chandler, Arizona last year, an undefeated season. Can't avoid the rush this time again of Myjai Sanders. Boy, Sanders with terrific get-off at the line. He was in the backfield as the ball was snapped. Or so it seemed. There is a flag down. And there it is.
Defense, number 21. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
He was in the backfield as the ball was snapped. That cost him 5 yards.
He's had some great plays of get off so far today. Bottom of the screen. I don't know. You know, I feel like he's got that drop down move where his body's moving and he drops down to get explosive, and it looks like he's in. I don't know if that was clear to me.
Isaiah Bowser. Brought down by Jabari Taylor at the 15-yard line, about a yard shy of the first down.
You know, UCF is a team that likes to play with their hair on fire kind of tempo. And with $1:30 in this first half, again, you're really still trying to teach your team situational football handling. So the score X or may be what it be, but we still want to try and bleed this clock in this 2-minute drill, son. 4-down territory if you're UCF.
Bowser spins off a hit at the line of scrimmage and moves the pile for a first down. Now UCF only has 1 timeout left, so the clock will stop just for the moment with over a minute to go. Ty Van Fossen made first contact for Cincinnati, and we will now go under a minute to go in the first half. Joey Gatewood will now come in, the Wildcat quarterback for the Knights. And he will run it himself and get brought down behind the line of scrimmage. And now Gus Malzahn runs down the sideline and calls UCF's final first half timeout.
Final charge, timeout of the half. UCF, 60 seconds.
Wilson Huber with a tackle for loss.
Yeah, key piece to this defense. He's become a leader. He follows the backside guard. He pulls and takes him right to Joey Gatewood, the quarterback. See how he follows that pulling guard? Doesn't pay attention to the action in the backfield. His responsibility, his job. And again, I've talked about that so much with this Cincinnati defense today. Is everyone, senior, laden group, everyone has the expectation. You'll do what you're coached to do. I often say, like, great defense, for me, it's always about guys being selfish. And we use that unselfishness in football phrase so much. You should be selfish to do your job as good as you can. You know, you talk with their defensive coordinator, Mike Tressel. You know, he laughed because I said, you guys play with great leverage. And he laughed. He said, we're obsessed with it. And then I said, you guys tackle really well. And he laughed again. And he goes, tackling is actually a principle of our team. You know, it's up there with effort. It's up there with character. One of their principles is how well they tackle. And again, they believe if they play with the proper leverage, that's Mike Tressel right there, and they play with great effort to the football, they just won't give up many big plays. It'll lead to a successful unit.
Well, they've only given up 83 yards of total offense here in the first half. The first legitimate opportunity for UCF to get points on the board. After the timeout, play clock down to 13. UCF now out of timeouts. 2nd and 3. Mikey Keene taking a shot for the end zone. Floats it up over the head of Brandon Johnson and out of bounds. Now it's 3rd down and 3.
I just don't think the one-on-one fades versus Cincinnati's defense is what you're looking for. Their corners are just too good. Again, 3rd down. Last time you were in this situation, 21 was an issue. I think if you're UCF, you got to chip Myjai Sanders, make sure that he doesn't ruin this play, and then you're trying to play with vision on this young quarterback.
Same throw, same spot, different result. That's a UCF touchdown. Brandon Johnson got another opportunity, and Mikey Keene found him. 16-yard score.
This is a great route by Johnson. Inside on the bunch. He's going to get man coverage by Bush. Get on top of his toes. Push vertical. Now break away. Ball's got to come out on time by Keene. And then make sure that you get your feet in bounds on that catch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ball out quickly. It's a good throw by Mikey Keene. Again, really good job handling the situation of your UCF's offense. Big play. Hits you down in the red zone. Capitalize on 3rd down versus man.
6th touchdown of the season for Brandon Johnson. I remember his dad, Charles, being called up as a catching prodigy by the Marlins back in the 90s. Ended up winning 4 Gold Gloves as a big-time Major League Baseball catcher. And pretty good hands there by the junior Johnson as well.
Well, because it's hard to get some success and score against this defense for Cincinnati. They've been spectacular today. Look at them force the football to the perimeter, inside out. So many bodies towards it. Pace has been outstanding in this half. Sanders with the pressure on 3rd down. Pace, hang there. Throw right to you in zone coverage. Just catch it. Awesome job by Huber following the guard in the Wildcat situation. Now credit UCF to go and make that touchdown throw and catch. But this defense has been spectacular this season, and they've been as advertised today.
They're not talking about it, but they know. All right, we'll talk to Chris coming up because she did dig up some stuff that Luke Fickell had to say this week about knowing that you need to win impressively.
Sure.
But you're not going to come out, obviously, and say that.
Right.
But it's not lost on the Bearcats what this season for the rest of the way has to be about. You have to win all your games, and you have to look good doing it because there will be teams in the Power 5 leagues that'll have so many resume-building opportunities between now and the end of the season.
And I think a big part of it is Luke Fickell is not trying to build a team. He's trying to build a program. And once you start saying things like, oh, we got to be really good this week and blow X team out because we want to impress the committee, you're teaching your players, your young, impressionable players, that they are tied to the result. And when you're building a program, you want them to be committed and obsessed with the process.
Only 33 seconds left in the half. And they'll give Ethan Wright an opportunity to run it here. He'll pick up about 3. And we'll see if that will end the first half. Check that, McClelland on the carry. Very impressive first half for Cincinnati. As Jerome Ford, the offensive star, 176 yards and 4 touchdowns in the first half alone. And the Bearcats looking very much like the number 3 team in America as they have a 35-7 lead at halftime. Coming up after a quick timeout, Kevin Negandhi and Booger McFarland have all the highlights and scores in the State Farm Halftime Report.
New brisket at
Dodge Jeep Ram is the best in the upstate.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football presented by Arby's. You're watching the AAC on ABC. Just about set for the start of the third quarter at Nippert Stadium. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Chris Budden, all Cincinnati in the first half. Number 3 in the nation, playing very much like it. And Dan, when you are a national championship contender, it can't be all about one player, right? So Desmond Ritter, we talked about how prolific he's been in the Heisman conversation. He wasn't really the reason that they're this good in the first half. Their run game and their defense, tremendous.
The defense is the thing that stood out to me. We came into talking about how this defense is really the reason why I think they can beat anyone in America, and that defense did not disappoint. I mean, you give up less than 100 yards at home, really one big play on a reverse, and the defense has been spectacular. And you talked about Desmond Ritter. Ford, the tailback, has been special. He's averaging 11 yards per carry. He's had great vision. They've done a nice job blocking up front. Now they get to start the second half with the football. And for a defense that is playing as good as Cincinnati's, you can continue to put pressure on in this football game if you go down the field as an offense and score.
It'll come out to the 25-yard line for Cincinnati. Chris?
Spoke to Luke Fickell at halftime. He was pleased all around the tackling, the up-tempo offense that he played with. But he said, we have to play a full 4 quarters. We have yet to do that this season. Last week against Temple was the closest that we've come. And mind you, they won that game 52-3. And after that game, Fickell said, when he was asked about style points, quote, I don't have a whole lot of style. I don't know about style points. My wife picks my clothes. My wife has style. I don't know what you mean by style, but we like to play complete games. We like to finish things out, and we haven't done that this year. I'm just happy to get the win. That's the style I have, and I can confirm Miss Fickell picked out the suit he wore this morning.
It's a tip ball at the line of scrimmage to start off the second half. And look, he may be trying to downplay the need for style points, but how impressive game control, margin of victory Cincinnati is in their remaining games. That's going to matter when you don't have top 10 opponents, top 15 opponents to go up against, like all of the SEC and Big Ten contenders will have.
And we saw this a few years ago with UCF and them having kind of that same journey of being a really good team, but they had to go blow out everybody by 30 or 40 points for people to think, oh, well, they played this team, so it wasn't that impressive.
They have dominated all three phases today, giving up a touchdown just at the end of the first half and opening up the second half with the football, 3rd down and 7. Jerome Ford, the tailback to the right of Ritter in the shotgun. He's got 179 yards rushing. Ritter, that ball deflected, and it falls incomplete. So UCF is able to force a 3-and-out to start off the second half. Quadric Bullard, the safety, was there to break it up.
I love the fact that they got Wiley in motion. Right side of our screen is going to be man coverage. Ritter falls away. And I think Ritter was expecting him to sit. And Wiley kind of turns inside and pulls away from the defender. You can see that conversation. That's offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock. Just talking about what they saw. What did you see? Where should that ball have been thrown in relation to where the defender was?
Mason Fletcher's punt short and takes a UCF bounce across the 45-yard line. So the Knights will have great field position after only a 27-yard punt. Well, the playoff resume, a huge win on the road against Notre Dame and a ranked win on the road against Indiana as well. Now, the Hoosiers were ranked when Cincinnati went on the road and beat them, but the strength of schedule, 95th, that of course reflective of not having the top-ranked teams in their league to go up against. And I don't know, there are a million different scenarios that can play out. We're only halfway through the season.
Sure.
All they can do is take care of business, but they're certainly doing that today.
Yeah, I think simply put, though, it's not the best team. It's the team that plays the best. And if Cincinnati throughout this season plays the best, it may not be as talented as some of the teams that are going to be in the conversation. But if they play the best, and the committee's job is put the 4 best teams in. It's not the 4 teams that played the toughest schedules.
Yep.
It's not the 4 teams that have the most talented rosters or got the most 5-star recruits. It's the 4 best teams. And if they continue to play like that, they are a college football playoff team. And I'm tired of hearing people say, well, yeah, what about their schedule? I don't know if they can play in the SEC every week. They don't need to. They need to play 2 games.
Keene through the hands of Jordan Johnson. 3rd down and 8.
And I think part of that is how this 3rd quarter goes. Honestly, like if you're a committee member and you're watching this game and this is a 35-7 football game, I want to see the Cincinnati team that shows us we are the team that when we have the lead is going to try to suffocate the second half.
Flip pass to Richardson, tracked down at midfield. Jaheim Thomas made the tackle after a gain of only a couple. And again, Myjai Sanders was in the backfield to force the quick throw.
This is a great play by Thomas. He's got the back and man coverage. So you got to fight through traffic. You're trying to pump fake one way, fight through traffic, play underneath. You got a defender playing over the top to force it back inside. So really good job by Van Fossen. And then Thomas running from the back on that man coverage tackle.
Montgomery will let the punt bounce, and it ends up in the end zone for a touchback. Back to the offense, Cincinnati with a big lead when we come back.
Restructured pork patty sandwich.
Full day and night of college football continues on ABC and the ESPN app. It rolls on this afternoon with number 2 Iowa hosting Purdue. Our Saturday night game presented by Capital One has number 4 Oklahoma taking on TCU in Norman. Alabama on the road in Stark Vegas at 7 Eastern over on ESPN. And we'll wrap the night in the Pac-12 with Arizona State and Utah as well. Still plenty of football to come on this college football Saturday. Number 3 in the nation. They've been dominant. The toss to Ford. Little stutter step, lowers his shoulder, and powers his way for about 5 yards. Devad Wilson bumped him out. And they'll mark Ford out after a gain of 4.5, Chris.
That Cincinnati team is one that plays with unfinished business. They were leading Georgia by double digits in the Peach Bowl last year, ended up losing that game. I called that game, and during Georgia's trophy presentation, while they're celebrating, a few players stood in the end zone and watched it as a reminder of that feeling that they didn't want to feel again. It's also a reason several players came back for another year.
Desmond Ritter among them. Talking to Luke Fickell, I know you guys, about Desmond Ritter. He said there are a lot of guys that kind of play that game where I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, and really they know what they're going to do.
Yeah, their mind's already made up.
Desmond Ritter was the rare case of the player that we sat down with and really didn't know what he was going to do. And we talked through the process, and he decided to come back for this final season at Cincinnati, probably at least in part due to what he knew this team could be, not just his own career, but how good he knew this group was that was coming back, that they were college football playoff potential. And here's Ritter. First down carry. Keenan Hester made the stop, Chris.
Bob, one of the other reasons he wanted to come back was because in April, him and his girlfriend welcomed in his little girl, Leighton. And most would think, oh, you would want to go to the NFL now that you have a child to take care of. But he thought, man, the draft was 2 weeks after she'd been born. I'm so comfortable here. My girlfriend were comfortable here. I just wanted one more year to be able to grow and to be able to give her a life right here in Cincinnati.
He said he knows where the grocery store is. He knows, just comfortable at Cincinnati. And boy, does he look comfortable quarterbacking this offense as Chuck McClellan goes up the middle for a first down over midfield.
And I don't know if it's necessarily comfortable for me that I get. It's more maturity. You know, like, be very aware of, okay, this is my situation right now in life, and what do I want it to look like when I'm 30, and how do I get that? You know, and just making those really mature decisions that's best for the long game for you and your family is something that when you hear Desmond Ritter talk about, you ask him, hey, Desmond, you come off as such a mature guy. Why? And then he talks in reverence about his mother and how his mother had him when she was 15 years old, and just how they kind of grew up together, essentially. And just the admiration in which he speaks about his mother, again, shows and speaks to his maturity. I think it kind of spills off into the football team, too. I mean, again, he is their unquestioned. It's like having Luke Fickell on the field as a player.
McClellan again. Stopped about a yard shy of the first down by Jeremiah Jean-Baptiste. Well, maturity comes with age. Right? I mean, Desmond Ritter's been here for a while. He was recruited to Cincinnati by Tommy Tuberville. And the coordinator that found him in a camp as a high school prospect was Zach Taylor. As flags are thrown at the snap here on third down and short.
Cincinnati Bengal head coach?
Correct.
So Zach Taylor, yeah.
Before the snap, timeout. UCF, first of the half, 30 seconds. Media timeout.
UCF at 12 on the field, so they called a timeout before the flag was thrown.
If you have a typical airline credit,
Pass. Desmond Ritter, with a win today, would continue to advance himself as the winningest active quarterback in college football. MVP of the championship game last season, the player of the year in the league, the rookie of the year back in 2018. And the unquestioned leader of the number 3 ranked team in America, looking to add to a 35-7 lead, third down and 1 at the UCF 40-yard line. Right up the middle, Jerome Ford, first down. And he keeps going deeper into the record books for Cincinnati as well, as he has gone over 10,000 yards of total offense, 8,000 yards of passing offense, number 2 all-time in touchdown passes and passing yards at Cincinnati as well.
Well, his quarterback coach is Gino Guidugli, and he was a guy that I came here and played as a freshman. I believe Gino was a freshman as well. I saw him on the field pregame, and I asked him, hey, man, you know, I heard you guys are trying to get these competitions. Beautiful throw right there. Good job.
McClellan lost the football. UCF jumps on top. Will they call that a fumble, or was he down? No, it's a fumble. And the Knights have a takeaway. Jeremiah Jean-Baptiste knocked it out of the hands of Chuck McClellan.
We're on the field. It's a fumble. Recovered by UCF. First down.
And UCF has it back.
My question is going to be, was McClellan out of bounds? Watch his left foot. It's going to be on the right side of the screen.
Of a fumble. Recovered by UCF. Is under further review.
His foot definitely went out of bounds. Was the ball free before that? We'll take another look when we come back.
Some like you to think they still built.
While we were away, looked at as many replays as we could, synced up to try and see if McClellan was out of bounds before losing possession of the football. In our view, there's no clear shot that shows he has complete control when he goes out. Let's see what the replay booth came away with.
After further review, ruling on the field stands. First down, UCF.
If he had been called out of bounds on the field, I think he probably would have had to stay with that as well. So UCF gets a takeaway.
And credit Jean-Baptiste, the linebacker for UCF, playing hard still and ripping that ball out from McClellan.
So back to the offense for the true freshman quarterback Mikey Keene, who threw a touchdown pass to Brandon Johnson before halftime. And a little Statue of Liberty end around to Amari Johnson. Oh, he pays the price. Sauce Gardner was waiting for him. He picked up 8 yards, but he got planted at the 38-yard line.
I love the play design, but watch Sauce Gardner right side of your screen. Come here. It's a big-time tackle. 6'3", 200-pounder. Number 1, Bednarik and Nagurski watch list guy. Early draft pick in the NFL.
Isaiah Bowser. About a yard shy of the first down. And Gardner, first team All-League 2 years ago, first team All-League last year, and most likely on his way to a 3rd consecutive first team All-League performance. Got a 6'3" corner that can cover and also doesn't shy away from making tackles like that. That is sought after at the NFL level, that's for sure. Isaiah Bowser now lines up to take the Wildcat snap on 3rd down and 1. He follows his blockers into the secondary, lowers his shoulders, and just about gets to midfield, easily moving the chains as he picks up 10.
It's a great job by Bowser. Pull the backside guard, Tatum, Schneider. Follow Holler, your tight end. And Bowser's a guy that first game this season went for 172 yards, and then he's missed the past 2 weeks because of injury, and they wanted to get him some touches, and nice job utilizing him in the Wildcat there.
Richardson, flag down.
Holding. Offense. Number 68. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Just watch Marcus Tatum here working against MyJ Sanders, left side of the offensive line. Sanders going to beat him inside right now, and he's just going to rip him down. Easy call for the official.
Keene off play action as a tight end screen to Alec Holler. And Holler weaves his way out to about the 42-yard line, picks up 4. Ryan Cook, another tackle. Chris?
Bobby mentioned all the accolades that Sauce Gardner's achieved, and he is a kid that does not lack for confidence or motivation. I asked him what the lock screen is on his phone right now. He said, this week I changed it to a picture of my pick 6 from this 2019 game against UCF. I said, why? He goes, because that's when the country found out about Sauce.
He's also number 12 in that picture, and where's number 1 now?
Because he wanted to be A1 Sauce.
Very good. Keane on a rollout. Throws it away. It's almost like you two talked about that before the game. Here is that pick 6 where the country found out about Sauce.
Bottom of the screen. A little vision on the quarterback. Give me that cookies. It's ironic that a cornerback would feel himself enough to make a nickname, but then also to change his number to correlate with that nickname. That's ironic. He's a good player, man. He's going to be a top 2-round pick in the draft.
Five wide on 3rd down and long. Keane tries to spin out of trouble. Throws on the run. Accurately to the sideline. He squeezes one in. It's an 8, Craig Myers. I think that's the first catch of the year for Craig Myers. It's a game of 18 and a first down.
What a nice job by Mikey Keane finding Myers. Craig Myers just sitting in that soft zone. Keane gets away from the pressure, makes an absolute rope of a throw. Great play by the true freshman.
Clock down to 5. Play clock down to 1. They barely get the snap off, and it's Bowser with a stiff arm. Turns the corner, and he's down close to the 35-yard line. He's got 4.
Watch this from Mikey Keane, right? 3rd and long. Spin out from that internal pressure off your left side. Eyes downfield, eyes downfield. Now you got to throw a rope into between that little window in zone coverage. Super impressive play. Mikey Keane, again, has had some moments today. He's had some moments where I'm a freshman on the road, but then he's had some very impressive plays in the pocket, moving outside the pocket. The strike touchdown to Johnson in the first half. Been very impressed with his individual performance.
Hands one to Bowser again. Spins, stays on his feet, and gets driven back after a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Well, Mikey Keane from Arizona, because of COVID restrictions, he never visited UCF's campus in person until he decided to become a Knight. That was his first trip to the campus, but he's found a home, and he's got a head coach that knows something about offense, imaginative scheme, and coaching quarterback, and that, of course, is Gus Malzahn. On a rollout here on 3rd down. That's caught, but short of the line to gain, it looks like, by Ryan O'Keefe. Let's see where they mark him. It looks to be about a half-yard shy, so it'll be 4th down and short. Again, Gardner made the stop.
Yeah, good on good there, really. This is a good route by O'Keefe and good coverage by Gardner. Big bodies coming on the field for UCF to go for this.
And they've got Joey Gatewood, the 220-pound Wildcat quarterback, in the game with Johnny Richardson on 4th down in the backfield. Play clock at 4. They're still trying to get set. They're going to have to call timeout again. And again, Gus Malzahn runs down the sideline to the official and gets a timeout call before the play clock expires.
UCF, 30 seconds.
Let's head back to Kevin Nagandi.
Bob, a thriller here in Baton Rouge. Time now for our AT&T 5G studio update. Emory Jones, his second pick of the game. He would go to the bench as Dwight McLaughlin returned it 37 yards. And, Bo, this LSU team does not have a lot of starters on the defensive side, so everybody else is stepping up.
Yeah, much maligned defense. A lot of noise down there. Defense showing up playing well.
Anthony Richardson came in for Florida, led them to a score. And then here, Ty Davis-Price up the heart. Right now, Florida driving. It's 35-21 LSU.
Boy, outside of Georgia, at the top of the SEC, this is a hard league this year to figure out. We have seen Florida look terrific, and then we saw Kentucky beat them for the first time since 1986 at home. You and I have seen LSU this season. They've been a roller coaster as well. It's a hard league to try and figure out this year.
Texas A&M stunk for 2 weeks, and then they beat Alabama.
Mikey Keene back in the game now after the timeout on 4th down. So the traditional offensive group on the field, and the handoff to Bowser moves the chains.
It's a nice jump cut by Bowser. There wasn't a lot of space for that run. He did a nice jump cut. Get behind his right guard, Boule, and go get that 4th down conversion.
So after the takeaway, this is the 11th play of the drive.
See how wide these splits are by these receivers? You're really just trying to get people away from the football.
Long throw. That's intercepted. Served up for Kobe Bryant. Touchdown. 73-yard pick six. For Kobe Bryant. He had a 21-yard pick six last week against Temple, and he's got a 73-yarder this week against UCF.
It's a great play. Kobe Bryant, really the rock of this defense, chose to come back this year. Could have left, chose to come back to be a part of what Cincinnati is doing this season, to be a part of that special group on defense. He's just playing zone coverage. He's doing a good job of playing with vision on the quarterback. They're going to flex the tight end. He's at the top of our screen. That's a tight end out there. Now he's just going to have vision on Keene. Now watch, he is breaking on the ball before Keene is actually let go of it. He's playing in that zone defense, and I'm going to drive on that ball before you even let go of it as a quarterback, and then it's a runaway walk-in touchdown. That's teach tape zone coverage by corner. When you're breaking on it and you know where it's going before the quarterback's ever thrown it, that's big time. That's route recognition, that's formation recognition, that's great understanding. Keene knows it. Again, the freshman's had some nice moments today, and I like the ownership. Get dunked on. Oh my goodness! Is that a 10-foot hoop? You know, I talked about being on the field before the game, and I was down there to watch Sauce Gardner, and I was actually down there with some NFL scouts, and Kobe Bryant was a guy that stood out, again, tracking the ball in ball skills, and I think you kind of see it there in that pick six of him just breaking on the football, back foot in the ground, before Keene ever threw it.
And this is as impressive a pair of corners as we've probably seen, at least the games we've called this year. There's no doubt. Here's our next UFC Fight Night tonight from the Apex in Las Vegas. The main event has 9-1 Aspen Ladd moving up in weight to make her debut in the featherweight division against 6-1 Norma Dumont, who looks to move into the top contender category. The prelims start at 4 Eastern on ESPN+, followed by the main card at 7 Eastern. You can get ESPN Plus by going to ESPNplus.com or just download the ESPN app.
We talked about moments for Mikey Keene and this young quarterback, and this is, again, a learning experience for him. Kobe Bryant has that huge pick six after a nice 4th down conversion. It's okay, young man. That's part of playing position in college football. Show me you can rebound.
Nice screen call right behind the blitz to Ryan O'Keefe. And O'Keefe is down the sideline. He's all the way down inside the 40-yard line with a flag down before he's upended after a gain of 36. Brian Cook made the stop. We'll have to check the penalty marker thrown right about where the tackle was made.
Holding. Offense. Number 80. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Results in the first down.
Well, that penalty called on Nate Craig Myers was well downfield, so it'll still be a nice chunk play for the offense for UCF, but should have been more.
don't see holding there.
You mean when he was grabbing his jersey?
I don't see that as holding. I mean, you have to, if the defender is punching the receiver to try to get away from him, like, you've got to give it both those guys a two-way go to fight for some type of positioning. Are you a private official or something like that?
Richardson to the sideline. And you see how he grabbed him by the jersey and brought him down there? That was a tackle, but if you don't have the ball, that's a hold.
You thought there was a significant grab on that hold, or was there a little bit of a tug? You gotta let these guys play ball, man.
The guy that's about to make the tackle is having his jersey grabbed and held onto by a blocker. I mean, believe me, I'm all for calling out a bad call from time to time. I enjoy that.
Do I do it too often?
Favorite pastime of mine. 2nd down and 8 right at midfield. Nice Statue of Liberty fake. Gives Keene a shot down the sideline. He's got Johnny Richardson. Richardson, the running back, wheel route out of the backfield. And that little pump fake by Mikey Keene freed him up.
Yeah, watch him out of the backfield, right side of your screen. Just a wheel route. How about the throw by Mikey Keene? Again, I wanted to see you respond after that pick 6. Show me you have no memory. It's a beautiful throw to Johnny Richardson.
Gain of 35, and here's Richardson up the middle. Gets brought down at the 8. About 3 yards shy of a first down. Until DeBlanco made the stop.
Man, that was a big hit. It's a good job falling back. Does that not look like...
If you come in with the crown of your helmet lowered like that, no call on the field, but that might be a booth-initiated targeting discussion. And it looks like that might be. Yeah, the officials on the field did not throw the flag.
Previous play is under further review.
But that is definitely why they're stopping the game. The official, the referee obviously did not announce that this is the booth initiating a targeting call potentially on Jacob Dingle. But when you see the tackler come in with the crown of his helmet like that, that is what will get the replay booth's attention. No doubt.
Right side of your screen. I mean, the crown of the helmet is clearly leading there.
Yeah, and if you're launching into the ball carrier with the crown of your helmet, that's what they want out.
Yeah.
Again, that is, and you mentioned it last week, we had a similar call. If you initiate targeting and you end up kicking Jacob Dingle out of the game, it's another message sent rules-wise. We're trying to protect the tackler as much as you're trying to protect the player being tackled.
Yeah. And I don't think there's a lunge on that play. I don't think there is a lunge from Dingle. But the crown of the helmet leading, I mean, you can't see the 29 on the back of his jersey anymore because he is so flat. If you could see the 29 and his head is up, that's a different conversation. But his back is basically parallel with the ground right there, which is a obvious leading with that crown.
After further review, it's a personal foul. Targeting with the crown of the helmet. Number 29 of the defense. Foul being forced half the distance to the goal. Number 29 is disqualified.
Now this is what I will say. There needs to be different levels of targeting in college football.
Agree.
You can't get rid of it because, again, it is about player safety. But that is not a play that Jacob Dingle should be kicked out of the football game for. There's targeting penalties where now it would be judgment in some capacity. It's almost intentional or malicious, but there was nothing malicious intent by that play from Dingle.
The best parallel for it is what they do in basketball. Flagrant 1, flagrant 2. Flagrant 2, intent to injure. Isaiah Bowser takes the wildcat snap with Mikey Keene lined up as a wide receiver out to the left. They roll it back to him, and Bowser scoops it up and runs it in for a touchdown. So he maintains his composure with the bad snap and still is able to score from 4 yards out. And a couple of touchdowns now in the game for UCF.
UCF has 7 offensive linemen. Watch the right side. Just down block, pull the backside. Schneider come and Bowser finds him. Finds the hole, and again, I like the answer from Mikey Keene. You know, I love the fact that they come out with the screen pass on that drive, big chunk to O'Keefe, and then he makes that long throw down the sideline to Johnny Richardson. I like that answer.
Another update with Kevin Nagandi.
Bob, we're trying to figure out the SEC like you mentioned. Auburn down 17-14. They have struck back Bo Nix to Demetrius Robertson. 71 yards. Auburn in control on the road. And then here comes the Razorbacks. Dominique Johnson would go in for a short run to make this 28-23. No two-point conversion. They would fail on that, so they're down by 5, start of the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, how about this? Michigan State, Peyton Thorne to Tyler Hunt, his first touchdown catch in his career. 17-9 Michigan State. Texas up by 8 to start the fourth quarter. Back to you.
And Oklahoma State trying to stay undefeated. A few of our upcoming AAC events as well on ESPN Plus. Every Thursday, get an all-access pass for an unprecedented look inside the Knights football team. Our Time offers never-before-seen video and sounds from players and coaches. Tomorrow afternoon, women's soccer, Cincinnati SMU, and then next Saturday night, Temple USF in football. You can look it up today, ESPNplus.com/AAC. This kick about a yard deep. It is returnable. Trey Tucker brings it out. He's got a head of steam. And he hurdles out across the 35-yard line before he's brought down. Well, Jerome Ford began his career at Alabama, but boy, is he etching his name into the Cincinnati record books this year. Yeah, he's done a great job down on the goal line. That offensive line double teaming, him being patient, big ability to hit some home runs. One back power, find that backside pulling guard Metz, and then the speed running away from everybody on the UCF defense, and then the vision. Again, down in the red zone, somewhat shut down. Hop, step, bounce off the right edge. He's been incredibly impressive, averaging 10 yards per carry today. 9.5 yards per carry today. First Cincinnati back with 4 touchdowns in a game since Isaiah Peed. Well, once again, it's Tucker. And that should take us to the end of the third quarter. As long as Cincinnati doesn't play up-tempo here. They've got a 42-14 lead. Desmond Ritter looks over to the sideline. Certainly have time to get one more playoff if they like. Down to 14 seconds to go in the third, but it looks like they will. I thought they were about to walk over to the sideline, but now Ritter says not so fast. 5 seconds to go. Take a peek. Show them a formation. See how they're going to line up on defense. And now the clock goes to all zeros. So we head to the fourth quarter with Cincinnati on top 42-14. The 4 touchdowns of Jerome Ford. And the defense getting into the act as well. Kobe Bryant, a pick 6 to add to the lead.
Today's challenge, 3 toppings for just $10.
Carolina, shop bestpricesc.com.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football presented by Arby's. Set for the start of the fourth quarter. No third quarter offensive points for Luke Fickell's team. They got a pick 6, 42 in total. And it's been kind of a pedestrian effort for Desmond Ritter because it hasn't had to be more than that. Their defense has now scored, and Jerome Ford's got 4 touchdowns on the ground. When you can run the ball like they have today, you don't have to ask your quarterback to do a ton. And now a false start will be called to begin the fourth quarter against Cincinnati.
False start. Offense, number 11. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And that's the tight end Leonard Taylor. Here comes a blitz, and Ritter under pressure. Quadric Bullard, the untouched, unblocked free runner, right up the middle for the sack. Back to the 21-yard line.
Yeah, UCF plays man coverage across the board and blitzes everybody else. Bullard just comes up the middle of the offensive line between the right guard and the center. Unblocked. You're unaccounted for. That's on Desmond Ritter. You got to know that you cannot block 37. Ball has to get out before he gets home.
3rd down and 25. Another free runner. Ritter to the sideline, incomplete. Another blitzer completely unaccounted for, and Ritter got walloped by Landon Woodson. And he was a little slow to get up. You don't want to get your quarterback hurt in a lopsided game by not protecting him, as Woodson buried Ritter on that hit.
And they dial up the pressure again, unblocked off that left side. Woodson comes in and absolutely untouched to Ritter. That's a big shot to have your quarterback take in the 4th quarter. And you could see him on the sideline walking with someone attached to the training staff right now.
Yeah, if he ends up being a little woozy, that might do it for Desmond Ritter. We'll see if he even comes back into this game. Rugby-style kick from Fletcher. Amari Johnson backpedaling and brought down at the 30-yard line.
Back-to-back plays of pressure from this UCF defense. 3rd and long, unblocked to your Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback for the Cincinnati offense. Not good.
Queens premieres Tuesday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Welcome back to Cincinnati. Another look at the hit that Desmond Ritter took on the last play. He did come off on the sidelines, didn't receive any treatment. They brought over a heating pad for his back. He's been stretching out, but he did not go under any concussion protocol. They did not take him into the injury tent, and he has his headset on as if he's going to go back out there.
That's good to see.
Absolutely. I think I would send him back out there for one more series. I want my offense to feel better about their performance than they've had the second half.
Keene whips the wide receiver screen to Amari Johnson. He only gets a yard. Now you wonder, with a lopsided game, you're up 35-7 at halftime. Yep. What's your barometer for success in the second half? Can your offense just go out there, function in the second half, even if they don't score, and win a game 42-14, 42-21? Or do you feel like, especially when you're trying to constantly impress the committee, you want your offense to go out there and put something together in the second half before certainly you pull a Desmond Ritter?
If I'm Luke Fickell, I'm not really worried about the committee right now. I'm worried about the performance in the second half by my offense. Again, I want them to go play well, indifferent of who we're playing or what the scoreboard says. Again, I said this in the first half, you are not building a team here, you're building a program. And once you show cracks of, oh guys, the scoreboard doesn't matter anymore, that's when your players pick up on that stuff. And I think Luke Fickell, this is a good opportunity. You don't have to be reckless with Desmond Ritter or anybody, but you want to go and put good tape out in the second half and show your guys, we got to play better throughout the 4 quarters of the football game.
Cincinnati only has 10 on the field defensively. Now they run an extra player out there late. As Jaheim Thomas got on the field to make it 11. The pass rush all over Mikey Keene anyway. Forces the throwaway. I.J. Sanders again in the backfield. Curtis Brooks back there pressuring Mikey Keene as well.
It's a nice job by everybody on this defense. You're going to see Pace keep 20, watch Pace, he's going to keep contained, and Sanders just effort, stay after the quarterback, went inside, Pace stays outside, Sanders keeps hunting, he's going to want that sack. When you put your hands on him, you got to get him. You can see him a little bit disappointed, but again, that complementary style of ball defensively perfect.
Nearly a block punt. Instead it bounces down to about the Cincinnati 24, maybe the 23-yard line before it's down by UCF.
Rib-shaped sandwich.
Don't say it like that, Devin.
College football on ABC is presented by Arby's. We have the meats.
The only field in America they have been playing college football on longer than Nippert Stadium's field is Franklin Field at Penn, the oldest playing site in FBS all the way back to 1901. And how about taking a look at this story as we honor those who serve, brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Louis Dean Giacometti turned 101 this past January. Went here to Cincinnati on a football scholarship and played end. This was his quote, "Just end. I played both ways. They hadn't invented the tight end yet. So I was just an end on offense and defense." After 3 years of college, served honorably in the Army after being drafted and fought on Okinawa. Also a longtime teacher and coach at Walnut Hills High School in Cincinnati. So thank you so much to Mr. Giacometti for your service. Desmond Ritter stays in at quarterback, and Ethan Wright picks up about 3 on first down early in the fourth quarter. And Cincinnati offense, Dan, has been bogged down a bit in the second half.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a focus thing, right? You get into these blowout games and you kind of turn your tempo down a little bit.
That's a dropped ball by Josh Wiley.
As you can see, right? I mean, just this is a team that operates offensively way too consistently to have some of the mistakes they've had in this second half, and I think that's why Coach Fickell sent this offense out there again for another drive. And I remember being in these moments, and sometimes you just have to grab everybody by the face mask and be like, fellas, one more drive. Then we're out of the game, okay? Let's just focus on put together one good drive. I think you're going to get zone coverage out of UCF. They like to work the third receiver in this trips.
Instead, they swing one to Ethan Wright, and he will be brought down at least a couple of yards short of the first down by Jean-Baptiste. So that will be a 3 and out for Cincinnati. They'll kick it right back to UCF.
Just feels like they've lost energy, right? Just, again, I don't think that's something that as a coach you love, that your players, and there's the human element aspect of it. You are in complete control of the football game. But there's that, you want your guys that when they're on the field playing as hard and as well as they can.
Line drive punt. Amari Johnson again fields it over his shoulder. Bobbles it, loses it. A scramble for it inside the 10-yard line. And who's got it? That's the second consecutive punt where Amari Johnson had a tough time, seemed tracking and judging the football. And caught it, or tried to, running away from the line of scrimmage to catch it over his shoulder. This time it costs him. Cincinnati's got it. It's first and goal.
Talked about Johnson trying to Willie Mays those punts. Once that ball gets bouncing, man, it's tough. And bodies are flying in there. Van Fossen looks to be the one who recovers it. The bottom of those piles, man. Watch 13 come flying, and there it is. Van Fossen is the one that comes from out of the bottom of that pile. And now this is the moment where you go, okay, guys, come on. Offense, focus up for 60 seconds. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to take a shot at the end zone to Alec Pierce.
He's in the slot left. Ethan Wright in the backfield. And the two tight ends both set right. Now they motion Pierce. They'll give Ethan Wright a chance. Still on his feet before he's driven back near the 3-yard line. Flags down, an altercation in the end zone. Jeremy Cooper, the left guard, looked like he was getting into it with Tatum Bethune. And then the flag was thrown after the play was over.
After the play was over. Dead ball, personal foul, number 54 of the defense, unnecessary roughness. Half distance to the goal, still first down.
Well, they call the penalty on Cam Good, and that will put the ball at about the 2-yard line. Spinning at the goal line is Ethan Wright for his second rushing touchdown of the season. And the 5th rushing touchdown of the game for Cincinnati.
Get off the right side of this offensive line. Metz, Renfro, O'Quinn. Nice spin route by Wright upon contact. The special teams turnover by UCF gives the Bearcat offense that short field, and it's good to see them finish something in this second half.
Third touchdown of the day for Cincinnati off of a takeaway. This time the special teams of UCF coughs it up. The mistake by Amari Johnson compounded when he tried to pick up the loose ball, and Ethan Wright pays it off.
We love our house. Been here for years.
Here's Tuesday on ABC.
We are back with our Aflac trivia question. Since the start of the 2020 season, Cincinnati is 14-1, third best in FBS in terms of win percentage. Who are the two teams that have a better win percentage?
I know this one.
Okay.
Since the start of last year. Okay.
We're going to pay it off after the kickoff here, so think fast. Richardson bobbles it, now tries to return it, and another special teams snafu for UCF. Cost them field position in a big way all the way back to the 6-yard line. I think Clemson's probably on this list. Clemson and Alabama, would that be chalk?
No,
I don't know.
Clemson.
Are you sure?
It's Alabama for one.
All right, let's see the Aflac trivia question answer. Since the start of the 2020 season,
Alabama
who are the top two?
Alabama and UConn.
Coastal Carolina. That makes sense, right?
Coastal Carolina's quarterback can play.
Took out BYU last year.
I should have known Coastal. Dagnabbit. You said Clemson.
Joey Gatewood is now in at quarterback for UCF.
The Chanticleers.
Keeper as Gatewood pushes the pile for about 4 out to the 10-yard line. Gatewood was with Gus Malzahn at Auburn in the 18-19 campaign, spent some time at Kentucky, and now had an opportunity to rejoin his old coach at UCF. Keep it again. Lowers his shoulders and comes within about a yard of a first down. Now, Gus Malzahn will bring this program back.
Oh, no doubt.
There's no question. They'll get healthy. I mean, that's the jumping off point. Losing Dylan Gabriel, that would hurt anyone's chances. But there's a guy that, with G. Chizik at Auburn, won a national championship, and
well, also the fact that they're joining the Big 12 as well. I mean,
correct. This will be a Big 12 game before too long.
Correct. And the addition of recruiting, I mean, that when you sit down in living rooms and tell those guys.
And a flag thrown on the first down carry by Johnny Richardson.
Holy. Offense. Number 68. Half distance to the goal. Still third down.
And since 2017, this is a program that's 44-10. They went from, in 1996, founding the program, to being D3, D2, FCS, up to the FBS level, to now being a Power 5 invitee in the restructured Big 12 along with Cincinnati. So there's no reason to think that the Knights won't be right back in a spot that Cincinnati's in. As now Gatewood on a quarterback draw will run back out to the 15-yard line. And they were an undefeated team in 2017, a one-loss team in 2018.
Yeah, and I was making the point of when you sit down in recruiting living rooms and you talk to these players, players want to be playing in power conferences nowadays more often than not, and they want to be understanding that they're going to be playing on big-time national networks and playing the best of the best. And I think them joining the Big 12, one, ups the recruits. Also, if you rewind 4 years and they're that undefeated football team, well, it's no longer, please let us into the college football playoff or we're good. They'll be a part of a conference that will justify that even more so.
Ryan Montgomery gets to midfield on the punt return. And they want to play for us coaches that know what a championship looks like. And both of these head coaches were part of championship programs before they moved on.
To live is to ask the
DirecTV Stream with no annual contract.
Kevin and Booger back in studio. Wild one in Baton Rouge. Ty Davis-Price, his third touchdown of the game here, Boog.
Love to play. Pull the backside guard and tackle. Allow the quarterback to hold the defensive end, and TDP does the rest.
So LSU's up by 7. Here comes Anthony Richardson to Jacob Copeland. This Gator offense looks completely different with 15.
He's their best quarterback. He should never come out from under center again.
42 all, most points in this series so far, Bob.
Wow, what a game that is. As now Evan Prater takes over at quarterback for Cincinnati. Ryan Montgomery spins up the middle and picks up about 4. And there's no question, Anthony Richardson is the most gifted of those two quarterbacks. But would you have said 2 or 3 weeks ago, with the way that Emory Jones was playing, that there's no doubt about it, Florida is better off with him at quarterback than Emory?
I did say it in the game that we did. When we did Florida, I think week 2 or week 3 against USF, it was Anthony Richardson should be the starting quarterback.
But by the time we got to the Kentucky game and we had watched Emory Jones play the next 3 weeks in the absence of Anthony Richardson, it wasn't that clear cut.
He had played better over those 2 weeks, but Anthony Richardson is a different animal. I love Dan Mullen. I think he's a brilliant coach. I do not understand why Anthony Richardson's not their starter.
Well, maybe he will be moving forward if he is performing the way it looks like he is today. As Montgomery goes up the middle and picks up first down on 3rd down and short. Well, the craziness that is the SEC, to me, Dan, might be the one branch of the thousands of branches that are on the tree of what might happen the rest of this college football season that could hurt Cincinnati.
Because of all the good teams in there?
And to me, as Montgomery goes right up the middle, breaks tackle, stays on his feet, and gets all the way down inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Cincinnati. Yeah, we'll get to that discussion in a moment, but right now, Cincinnati's ground game continues to pour it on.
Yeah, Montgomery, beautiful cut here, right at the middle of the offensive line. It's about 3 or 4 plays in a row that they have just followed the center and right guard.
Montgomery stood up. The pile keeps on moving, and he's down to about the 5-yard line, although they'll say his forward progress was stopped at the 6. And to me, of all of the different scenarios, and we can talk about all of them, all the Big Ten teams that still have to play each other, what happens with Iowa, the one that would scare me the most if I were a Cincinnati fan is what happens if an undefeated Georgia gets beat by a 1-loss Alabama in an SEC title.
Yeah, because then and especially if it's a close football game.
Correct. Quarterback keeper for Prater. Nice cutback and a touchdown. 6 rushing touchdowns for Cincinnati.
How about their redshirt freshman coming in? Zone read, keeper. Cut back across the grain. The nice little drive put together by this 2 offense led by Evan Prater. Ooh, a little air guitar, little dance. Always good to see some young kids get some reps in games.
Now Cincinnati's trying to hold off a bunch of teams that have major resume building opportunities left the rest of this season. You can see playing in the American, They have the 89th remaining strength of schedule, but look at the strength of schedule of their closest pursuers. These are teams 4 through 7, and then even the rest of the teams in the top 11 or 12 of the current AP poll. We'll see on November 2nd what the next poll looks like, or the first poll that the committee puts out.
I think there's question marks attached to all those teams, though, right?
Sure.
You don't have any question mark with Cincinnati necessarily. At Oklahoma, one, who's going to be your quarterback? They've been in a ton of close games this year. They haven't looked great. Alabama, we will see, because there's people who think Alabama's going to get tested today. Ohio State got whooped at home by an Oregon team that needed, you know, a last-second touchdown last night to be a one-win Cal team. So what is Oregon, specifically after losing their back? And then Penn State with Sean Clifford. What are they going to be with his injury? So,
well, all those teams in the Big Ten East all still play each other.
Sure.
So Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan.
Right.
Now maybe they will all round-robin beat each other and kind of cannibalize each other and knock each other off. That would be what Cincinnati would hope. But if one of those teams runs the table and ends up being a one-loss team, or maybe an undefeated team against an Iowa, that's another scenario. There's a million different scenarios. We'll continue to talk about it after we check in with Kevin.
Bob, let's go to the Big 12. Undefeated Oklahoma State taking on Texas. Texas just can't close out games. Here's Spencer Sanders, Berg.
Yeah, and anytime you run the quarterback, that's a +1 because the defense doesn't have the advantage. Nice run by Sanders.
And the Pokes just got a pick here. Looks like they're going to seal it on the road, 32-24. Homecoming at Iowa. Spencer Petras. Hawkeyes getting set to host.
Throw it to a receiver, Spencer, not the tight end.
Iowa's ranked number 2 since 1985. We'll see them in 13 minutes. Back to you.
The last guy in America to take quarterback advice from.
More of these teams, though, and their strengths of schedule. Again, we don't know if Oregon might run the table. Kentucky, we're not even talking about them. What if they pull off an upset against Georgia today? Who knows what might be out in front of them? Is this the year Michigan finally beats Ohio State? There's so many important games for all of these teams to play. As Gatewood takes off, he's got another big run. He's to midfield. The point being the wide-angle lens, all of those teams have high-ranked opponent resume-building opportunities out in front of them. And outside of a back end of the top 25 ranked SMU team right now, Cincinnati does not.
Yeah, that's fair. I think two things. One, Cincinnati, and I think they'll do a good job of this. You can't worry about or control any of those other situations, right? You can only focus on taking care of your own business, because the last thing that you want to do is become so engulfed and or enamored with everything else going on, and it becomes a moot point because you lose because you don't show up. I always remind people they're 18 to 22-year-olds, so focus on your stuff. And I think the difference between this situation with a Cincinnati and, say, the UCF from years ago is they are inside the top 4 already.
Of the AP poll.
Right. Well, I would anticipate the initial college football ranking in a couple weeks.
I would too, but let's see what that poll looks like in a few weeks.
And I think that is a benefit to start at a point where someone's got to come take it from you.
Gatewood brought down again about 4 yards shy of a first down. So right now, if you look at what's left for Cincinnati, their best wins are already in the books.
Correct.
They won at Notre Dame, they won at Indiana. So they had 2 Power 5 teams on their schedule, both on the road, one ranked in the top 10, and they won both of them. They have already done everything that they can do. They have to run the table and be an undefeated team the rest of the way. We have them as an 82% chance, at least or better, to win all of their remaining games.
Yeah. And I think, you know, a big part of that conversation is, it's a nice cut. Number one, Cincinnati fans need to become huge Notre Dame fans for the rest of the year, right?
Sure.
Can they get healthy on their offensive line? The big part today is what happens in the Indiana-Michigan State game. I think Michigan State is up by 5 right now in that football game. If Indiana somehow beats Michigan State, who's an undefeated team, then again, the impressive win that Cincinnati had against them looks even better. Like you said, there's a lot of kind of touching points or tentacles attached to it.
Gatewood is going to heave one down the right sideline, looking for the end zone, and a flag out. And it looks like pass interference is going to be called, maybe against Will Adams coming over to help.
Pass interference. Defense, number 36. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
So nice job by Gatewood, just kind of hanging. I don't think it's on 36. I think it's on 10.
Correction. Foul was on 5. 5.
Well, they'll get it right eventually. I think it's on 10. Threets, the true freshman, right out of Dublin, Ohio. Okay, so back to this conversation. You know what I'm tired of hearing people say, though?
What?
Well, you know, what happens if they go and get blown out? We see blowouts in New Year's Six games all the time. Did you guys watch blowouts from LSU 2 years ago? And did you watch blowouts from Alabama last year? These guys are going to get blown out. I'm over that. We don't know that. And second of all,
by the way, watching this team,
they played Georgia great last year.
Not only did they play Georgia great last year, you've watched them on tape this year. They won at Notre Dame.
Right.
Why would we think this team would get blown out?
But you know, the national narrative or their schedule. Well, eventually, we got to put somebody in. Eventually, one of these teams that does not come from this Power 5 conference is really stinking good. And they've earned the right to go and play in a game for the chance to get into a championship, and stop using that common excuse. I think everyone needs to get out of that.
Another end zone shot, and that is incomplete as Gatewood misses, but another flag is out.
Mr. Referee, the ball's 5 yards out of the end zone.
Pass interference. Defense, number 12. After this the goal, automatic. First down.
So Todd Bumpus gets called for pass interference.
15 yards. First down.
Okay. So it's down to about the 7-yard line now for Joey Gatewood. First and goal. Just inside the 7 at the 6. Jet sweep. And getting tripped up at about the 2-yard line is Demarius Good.
It's a nice play by Hightower right there, man. I mentioned it with the offense. This is good to get some of these kids. So many of the young players are part of like your look team during the week, your scout team, and they don't necessarily get a chance to play. It's nice that they get to get on the field and a chance to play.
Mark Anthony Richards into the end zone for a touchdown. Clinching touchdown in the win over East Carolina. And he is able to get in the end zone here. Another transfer from Auburn that came to UCF along with Gus Malzahn.
Good job by Mark Anthony Richards here. Nice cut. Hug those offensive linemen's blocks. Take advantage of some penalties by the Cincinnati defense.
Send back to Kevin.
Well, I want to remind our audience we are just minutes away from Purdue, Iowa. How about this stat? Jeff Braun 3-1 all-time against Kirk Ferentz as the head coach at Purdue. Purdue coming off the bye. That game is about 5 minutes away when it's about to kick off. If UCF still going on, that game will move over to ESPN News. Just reminding you, we are 5 minutes away from Iowa, Purdue kicking off. I got UConn on the brain because of Dan Orlovsky. Dan, you guys are feeling good against Yale today.
No surprise. Tell Mina Kimes she can Venmo me my money on that bet.
Purdue, Iowa coming up next on ABC and the ESPN app. Our coverage rolls on this afternoon and also tonight. Saturday night, our primetime game presented by Capital One, Oklahoma, TCU in Norman. So number 3, number 2, then number 4. That is your day of football here on ABC. And the next test for Alabama against Mississippi State, 7 o'clock tonight on ESPN. Kickoff out of bounds. And now you would think that all that would be necessary for Cincinnati to do would be to take a knee.
Ball be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Look at him. Look at Fickle. He's talking about that pass interference. that they called on Bumpus. And there's no way he was going to catch that ball.
I think that's what he's saying.
He feels like he's building a NFL-like program here. You know, that it feels like it's an NFL organization, the way they talk.
Another big run from Montgomery, padding the stats. That is going to put Cincinnati over 300 yards rushing in the game, Chris.
Yeah, what Dan said about running like an NFL team, one of the things that they do that's very NFL-like is they have a fall camp. They go away to Camp Higher Ground for 2.5 weeks. It's a team-building program that you don't see a ton in college, but you do at the NFL level.